Juno.
You know what I mean, man?
No, don't do that.
We don't have any Mexicans on this cast. What the hell are you doing?
And thank God for that. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, robotic Mexican.
Well, they're behind the scenes.
Well, the Co-Host 3000 was built in Mexico.
Yes, he was. And you can tell by the amount that he reviews how often he breaks down.
Yeah, we got to put him on some some hydraulics or something.
Well, it's actually a Co-Host 2000. We just don't let him know that.
And plus all the time he's like, man, I don't feel like doing it.
Oh, see,
Well,
there we go.
It's got to take siestas. That's all.
Here come the comments. We're just playing, y'all. But anyway, Juno is directed by that Reitman kid.
Jason Reitman.
Yeah, who did Thank You for Smoking.
Which was easily the best comedy of last year. And this may be the best comedy of this year.
I don't know about the best, but I will say that after watching it, this movie, I just found it totally charming, and it really, really grew on me after a while.
I got to say that maybe you guys ruined this movie for me because by the time I watched it, while I liked it, I just didn't see it as anything all that special.
I didn't tell you anything about it. He did.
Okay.
I don't think I did either, actually. I hadn't seen it when you said it.
Well,
or
okay.
I only watched it
Well, maybe it was Carlisle, but I've been hearing just overwhelmingly glowing things from so many people. I was excited to watch it, and I was like, well, I like it, but it's like a lot of indie comedies I've seen already.
Yeah, here's the thing. This is, all right, so you have these, you may like whatever type of music. Say you like what's on the radio, and you have all your friends telling them, oh, you got to check out this great band. They're Elliott Smith or the Arcade Fire or the Killers or whatever, right? They're really hip right now. And after all this, you hear them, you're like, okay, I don't really get it. I mean, yeah, they're a little different, and they're kind of quirky, but so what? It just doesn't. It's not resonating with me. There's a whole new field of movies that's like that in the feeling of Little Miss Sunshine that have been coming out. The sort of an indie rock genre of films that are all very knowing. They're very intellectual. They're very East Coast. And this is another one of those movies.
No, you're right. No, this is a hipster movie.
Totally.
Okay. Thank you. So you guys do recognize.
No,
that.
I did. As
Okay.
a matter of fact, one of the things that annoyed me about this movie was the soundtrack, because I've heard at least one song in another little hipster movie like this, which was The Savages. They had they played a song in it, and I'm just like, man, they don't need this soundtrack in here. And the other thing is, they really, really tried hard to write dialogue for these girls that didn't really seem convincing.
What was that movie? Because it made me think of this. It is that movie of its day. It was Ethan Hawke and Winona Ryder.
Reality Bites.
Oh, yeah.
Reality Bites, yeah. And I just got that Reality Bites feeling from this.
No, and I think that was the beginning of these type of movies in a lot of ways. I think recently we've seen a renaissance of these, but that's okay because I personally like these type of movies.
You say Renaissance?
Renaissance.
Either one is correct. I looked it up.
You mean Renaissance?
Either one is correct. Hipsters say Renaissance.
Renaissance.
I was like, damn, I took her out in high school.
She started that new movie, Whatever.
I had some of her Renee sauce. Okay, so no, but this is, there have been two movies like this year I can think of. Dan in Real Life is another one of these type movies. This sort of indie hipster thing. And this one even more so, I mean, it even references the types of bands that indie rock hipsters like X and Sonic Youth. It talks about these bands in the script. Yeah. And that's fine. There's a huge audience for this movie and for these type of movies who like this type of thing. But a lot of people are going to walk out of this just kind of baffled.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really even see it as like Dan in Real Life. It's just another culture of hipster movies that we're talking about. That normally this movie would annoy me. It would annoy the shit out of me actually. But there was something about Ellen Page's character, and to a smaller degree, what's his name?
Jason Wright.
Jason Bateman. No. Jason Bateman was another.
He was really good. I liked him a lot.
He was great. And J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Gotta love J.K. Simmons, man.
No, there's a lot of characters in this movie where I was able to overlook the hipness and the soundtrack of this film and some of the dialogue.
I'm not sure what's annoying about the hipness, and I mean we're establishing that it's there, but I'm not sure what's annoying about that. It's like saying, "Oh man, there's a good things in this movie, so I can ignore the fact it was a comedy because I hate comedy."
I'll tell you
hipsters are annoying.
Yeah, no, it's the kind of stuff. Maybe I associate this with hipsters that I don't like, that whole subculture of hipsters. But on top of that, like I said, it was just things that annoyed me, like the soundtrack and some of the dialogue. But if they didn't exist, I would. No, let me state it this way: I liked some of these characters so much that I was able to overlook the annoying soundtrack and some of the dialogue to really like this movie. And in a way, I like the story too.
See, I think you're crazy because personally, I thought it had absolutely knocked it out of the park soundtrack. I love this type of music, and I thought it was great. And it's really the type of thing, if you don't like it, you can tune it out.
You can't.
It's alternative folk music, for God's sake.
I was
It's
beating my head on
barely
the
in
DVD player
background.
listening to this.
Oh, you're crazy. And as
You're
far
crazy.
as the characters go, I mean, I had somebody say to me, nobody really talks like that, and it really bugged him. The girl Juno in this movie, played by Ellen Page, she has this like really tight dialogue that's real clever. She always has a clever rejoinder to people and comeback. It's like, that bugs me. Nobody talks like that. It's like, when was the last time you went and watched an old Katharine Hepburn movie, dude? I mean, you don't see anybody talking shit about bringing up Baby because nobody talks like that.
Well,
Nobody's that clever.
I tell you what my problem is with that is because there were other moments where they seemed like real people to me, and they didn't need that kind of dialogue. When they start talking a little bit too clever, it pulled me out. But what I really liked about this, and I'll let you talk. Okay. I just like the way they portrayed teenagers in this. They weren't too sex crazy, they weren't too protected, and they weren't treated like kids too much. Man, they just seem like people.
Now, why is Michael Cera on the cover of this box?
He's barely in it.
He's barely in this movie, but they make it seem like he's like the main co-star.
Because he was just in Superbad, and they know they're going to sell this movie
I
with
guess
him.
so, because his part might as well have been played by Napoleon Dynamite.
But he does kind of have the third man quality about him. You know what I mean? He's talked about through the movie. He's really integral to the plot in many ways, even though he's barely there. And the conclusion depends on him heavily.
Because Michael Cera is super bad. That's why. Damn.
But
You didn't
the
recognize?
main characters are Jason Bateman, who does a great job.
Yeah, he's
That's
great.
aging, not ready to give up his hipster youth wannabe dad. His wife, played by Jennifer Garner, who, I admit, this is actually the first movie I think I've seen with Jennifer Garner in, so I kept expecting someone to try and kill her.
This is the first movie you've seen Jennifer
I didn't
Garner
see
in?
13 going on 30 or any of that stuff.
The Kingdom?
You didn't see Catch
No, I
and
didn't
Release?
see The Kingdom. I didn't see Catch and Release. I haven't
Damn.
seen any of that. So this is the first full-time part I've seen.
We gotta dock your
So
pay.
like I said, I've seen all the seasons of Alias, so I kept expecting someone to jump out of the wall to kill her, which would have been cool. But yeah, she's the mom who wants to adopt the baby, and then there's Ellen Page, who is getting all the credit she deserves for this. She does a great job.
Ellen Page is great, but okay, I'm telling you this. Like, tell me if you don't feel this way when I say it. When they eventually make the movie of Chris Farley's life, and they focus on his years on Saturday Night Live, she will play the Janine Garofalo part.
She is totally Janine Garofalo. And let me just, while I'm thinking about it, get it out the way, describe this movie. It's a really simple story. You got a young girl named Juno. One night, her and her boyfriend, played by Michael Cera, pretty much out of being bored, decide to have sex. And these two little dumbasses, they don't wear a condom, and Juno ends up getting pregnant. Now, Juno admits to her parents what happened and decides that the best thing to do, which is very smart, is to, instead of having a kid and trying to take care of it herself, she gives it up for adoption.
No, she decides to have an abortion. And then she changes her mind and says, all right, fine.
Small detail. No, I'm
huge detail.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, after she decides not to have
She picks
the
up
abortion.
a penny saver and finds a couple looking for a baby, which happened to be Jennifer Garner and Jason Bateman. And so she's going to carry it and let them adopt the baby.
Yeah, and then, but of course, the Jennifer Garner and Jason Bateman characters that end up not being exactly the picturesque, perfect couple.
Well, no. The thing is, what one of the things I liked about it was like they came on seeming like uber yuppies, like something was wrong with them. Mm-hmm. But then the more time you spend with them, the more human they became.
Yeah, as a matter of, and that's a good thing because I thought like, oh, these stereotypes up here. But one of the things I like, man, did either one of you, from the moment that Juno went in the room alone with Jason Bateman, that
like,
first scene, I got weirded out.
Weirded out. I was just like, oh, he's gonna fuck her.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you're supposed to feel that way. It wants to set you up to feel that way, and that's good. It's important for the story to feel that way. And I don't want to say too much, but yeah. But that being said, obviously that motherfucker never saw hard candy.
Yeah, exactly. Have his ass committing suicide at the end of the movie. But look, for all my complaints about this film, again, I really got more out of it than I thought I would. And I knew going in that it was sort of a simple movie. And it is. It's a small movie with very lovable characters in there. And I really enjoyed that. So even though I hate the hipness of it, I really like this movie. And I would give it full price.
Wow. To me, I mean, like I said, I like this movie. I didn't love it or even to the degree that you guys did. it's the kind of movie that I would normally say, there's no reason that you shouldn't just rent this. But it is better than most, and so I'm going to say matinee.
Well, I think you can already tell this is absolutely a full price movie for me, and one of the reasons is, it's all about Ellen Page. Really, everybody's great, but the way she has these moments where she goes from this total snappy dialogue, funny comeback girl to showing this incredible teenage girl vulnerability is completely convincing, and she sold me on this 100%.
Almost every character does. When they first come on, they seem like a stereotype. And the longer the movie goes on, you get to see the three-dimensionality of them, and that's the beauty of the movie.
Ellen Page is great in this movie too, man. I mean, that girl is a talent. Is she legal yet?
I have no idea. She didn't play legal in this movie, but
Dude, did you see Hard Candy?
Yeah. Once again,
I'm just asking. I ain't acting on nothing.
For your purposes, yes, she's illegal, and she always will be.
Oh, that's all you got to say. That's all you have to say, Leon.
She could be 35 years old. I ain't touching that girl. She's scary.
Yeah, she is. There is something weird about her. What's so weird about her? She looks like a little man or something.
Yeah, she's like cute but mannish at the same time.
Well, you got two movies with her. One of which she's playing a girl who gets molested by an older guy and then wreaks a horrible revenge. And the other one, she's like pregnant as a cow in it through most of the movie. Not really seeing her as a huge sex symbol at this point.
Right. Yeah. X-Men 3 is about it.
I forgot she was in there.
What was she in X-Men 3?
Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
Was she really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that. Actually, I liked the Kitty Pryde role in that. That was one of the
here we
things
go.
I really liked about that.
Yeah.